Welcome, crypto fam, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest Bitcoin technical analysis, as well as breaking news. Jan 3 Samson Mao just met with the parliamentary vice minister of the cabinet office to discuss the potential for Bitcoin in Japan, nation-state adoption around the world, and implications of U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserves. Japan. Let's go. Also breaking news, Senator Cynthia Lummis, general counsel, says the SEC gave BNY Mellon a variance approval to move forward with Bitcoin and crypto custody. And quoting Max Keiser, the IMF, while trying to steer countries away from Bitcoin, is secretly buying Bitcoin. An internal memo notes the impending crash of the US dollar and the inevitable bankruptcy of the IMF. I actually shouldn't say these words. Should be avoided, in my opinion. I'll be breaking this down for you. We'll also be taking a look at so many other things, as well as breaking news of Bhutan, 750 million revenue from Bitcoin mining sets, model for developing nations, as well as MicroStrategy raises $1 billion for Bitcoin acquisitions and just made an announcement purchasing 7,420 Bitcoin for $458 million. We'll also be discussing Max Keiser attacks Michael Saylor for finding fault with El Salvador's Bitcoin strategy and says you owe Nayib Bukele an apology. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin on the cusp of a massive parabolic breakout, according to this analyst, as well as BlackRock prepares for $35 trillion Fed crisis and predicts a Bitcoin boom. In fact, analysts are calling for $600,000. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. Welcome, crypto fan. We got so much news and there's just so much bullishness coming in. It was hard to even choose the top stories today, so that's a good sign. Shout out everyone in the chat. Data, Adam, Unmango, Judson, good to have you, brother. The Oracle, good to see you. Crypto Surge in the building. Chandy 10 Music in the house. Make sure to subscribe. #1 Bitcoin music channel, hands down. Chandy 10 Music. We're going to actually be playing a special tribute she did in the theme of the Devil's Den from the React session. We're going to continue later with the uncensored version of the pod, which we started a couple of days ago from the Y files, which is going to be very intriguing. Shout out Data, shout out Steve, shout out Safe Haven. Good to see you guys. Shout out Gavin. Greetings from Ibiza, Spain. Spain in the building. Lock Sky, where you been, broski? Welcome back. Good to have you here. Shout out Mark. Shout out Juan. Make sure to smash the subscribe button over on YouTube. I would encourage you guys to do, if you can help a brother out, simply make sure you have YouTube open. It does help out when you guys hit the likes and all that. And obviously the comment feed is coming from the YouTube stream. So if you guys can do that, it helps out. And then have X open as well. Have the Rumble open, all 3 platforms. Mute the 2 you're not primarily viewing. And then you can still interact and have the best of both worlds, as we are streaming on X, Rumble, and YouTube. And anyone who reposts the stream over on X will get reposted. That goes for comments as well as quotes. And I'm going to go ahead and pin it right now so it's easy to find for you. There you go. So you're going to notice the stream pinned at the very top of the profile. If you guys could heart it, repost it. And again, any repost with a quote or comment will get shouted out throughout the entire stream. So thank you guys in advance. Shout out Darth Melda. She likes the hat. Nice. Thank you. I got this hat from my boy Sergio. His website is bitcoincaps.net if you want to cop a similar one. Thank you, JC Ice. I appreciate it. Shout out the Dog Mechanic. I appreciate it. Shout out Koi. Shout out Trey Diggs. Appreciate you, brother. Shout out Steven for reposting Melda's post and for the repost on the repost. You guys are amazing. DNA Noonan. Hey, it's guys. You know it's get in where you fit in. Just reposted your brother. Thank you, guys. I'm going to hit you guys with the theme music and we'll take it away.
Oh my gosh, it's finally almost here. JV is going to talk to us. Crypto news is near. I can't stand waiting. There is no debating. I waited all day. Maybe I need a life, but Bitcoin is all I can think about day and night. Hurry, JV.
Welcome everyone to the live stream. We're back at our normal time. My favorite time to be going live. Happy 420 coming up here. But it is September 20th. Bullishness in the market. Yesterday we soared like $4,000. Respect the pump. Welcome everyone joining us. We're live on X, Rumble, and the YouTube. I'm going to be streaming for the next couple of hours. Let the folks know. We're going to be orange pilling the folks. And let me know when you think the 2024 Bitcoin price peak. What do you think we'll peak out at for this year? I put a poll up in the live chat over on YouTube. So if you guys can do that, let me know. Shout out Pete. Like the pump the likes. Thank you guys. Shout out Robbie Z. Shout out Crypto Clay. I had to say it was a good day. That's right. Chairman of the SEC didn't even have to wear his toupee. I got to say it was a good day. Good evening, brother. Welcome everyone just joining the stream. Good to see you guys. Bitcoin Weekly looking solid. However, the daily backed off the 200 daily simple moving average. Fine, let's go. OSDIND cool off and make a run in a few weeks to break 65.68. Send it. The Oracle's calling for $225,000 Bitcoin end of the year. Bring it. And I got some news as well, family. I will be going to El Salvador for Max and Stacy's golf tournament. And I'm not a golfer, but I will be observing. Max said there's plenty of non-golfers that'll be there, so I'll fit in. But I'm looking forward to it. So I'll finally get to see Bitcoin country in a few months. So I'm excited for that. Good stuff. Yeah, 225,000 sounds amazing. If you stream all three, you can turn sound and the bit rate down on the two streams. Well, the thing is, I'm using a software where you don't have to turn the biz rate down because I'm using Streamlabs. So theoretically, I can stream on not 20, but maybe a dozen platforms at the same time, and it doesn't require any additional biz rate. That's the beauty of using the software versus going directly through, let's say, OBS, for example. Fancy, right? Yeah, Max reached out to me earlier, so shout out Max Keiser. 225,000 would be amazing, Oracle. Hope you're right. Amen. Yeah, if I can get an interview, absolutely. Absolutely. It's on the list. My bucket list interview with Max Keiser and to meet Nayib Bukele. You know what I mean? Wow, very cool, JV. Hit the range and crank a few. Yeah, I want some pupusas. 3 for $1. I want 3 for $1. Welcome, Diana Jones. Welcome, everyone joining us. I mean, we don't need to watch 3 1080 streams at once. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I'm not really the technical guy. I'm just grateful my stream works, and I can't complain. But anyways, if you're new to the channel, very important to smash the likes. Go ahead and subscribe. I don't understand. Half the people that watch my stream every day are not subscribed. I mean, what are you doing? And then hit the bell icon, turn on all notifications. Today is pod episode 1763. I'm your host, JV, and it is September 20th, 2024. Let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. Pulling up Coin 360 should be appearing on your screen any moment now. Little jet lag. So there you go. Bitcoin finally in the red, but we did surge like $4,000 yesterday. And I think this morning when I woke up, I checked the price. It was 64. So we did tap 64,000 very early this morning. And currently we're just above 62,800, down about 0.5% in the past 24 hours. Ether, Solana in the green, while XRP and Cardano are in the red. And checking out coinmarketcap.com. The current crypto market cap sits at just shy of $2.2 trillion, and the Bitcoin market cap $1.2 trillion. We got roughly 85 billion worth of volume for the past 24 hours. And let's check out the Bitcoin and Ether dominance. Bitcoin dominance 56.8%, Ether dominance back at 14%. The other day it was all the way down to 13.5, which is a multi-year low. And also consider the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart shows Ethereum at about a 44-month low against Bitcoin. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers in the past 24 hours, we got Sue, we got Tao, we got FET. Let me know which alts, if any, you're bullish on for the bull. Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles so we can get a visual perspective on a daily. Looks like, I'd say 60% in the green, 40% in the red. A good mixed bag today. And zooming out on the monthly, safe to say, 80% in the green, 20% in the red. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index today, same as yesterday, we're neutral. Last week was a 32 fear, and last month a 26. in fear. And checking out the time chain calendar, we can see what block we're currently at and how many blocks yet to go into the next halving. We're currently on block 862,153. We got 187,847 blocks to the next halving. Each block is approximately 10 minutes. We're scheduled to have that halving probably sometime around April of 2028. So there you have it, yo. Welcome, everyone. Just joining the stream. What's poppin', family? Make some motherfucking noise. 1763, eh? Judson shares. That way we can catch a bunch without slowing our systems down. Right on. And like I said, I'm not the technical guy, so I don't really comprehend any of that, but I appreciate the suggestions. Commencing countdown, engines on. What's my name? See, what I do when I'm streaming, I monitor on YouTube just so I can see what you guys are seeing and make sure we're good. And then I'm watching. I have X open and Rumble open and all that stuff. But I'm on a desktop, so apparently my computer can handle it. It's never been an issue. I'm on an iMac. Maybe if you're on a small device or I don't know, maybe it would affect you. I have no clue. Happy Friday, y'all. TGIF. Remember, how many of you used to watch TGIF? I remember as a kid, it was like Family Matters and those types of shows. I'd be like, oh my God, it's Friday. Boy Meets World is on. Oh, Topanga, you're so beautiful. Could any of the broskies relate? Georgia just passed the law that all ballots must be hand counted, right? The precinct level before they get sent to be certified. Wow, that's good. Watch out for the drop to 60,000 to liquidate the longs in the heat map. Thank you for sharing, Grant. Or Great Condor. Okay, here's the thing. The M2 global liquidity is growing. The Fed rates cut are along with their CBs. It'll take a bit for the dollars to flow in. Bitcoin supply shortage, short squeeze, fueled for the takeoff. Y'all remember the Wonder Years? That was a good show back in the day. I remember that at like age 5. Maybe the earliest show I can remember. What was her name? The little boy, his girlfriend's name was, I think, Winnie, or something like that. It wasn't Winnie the Pooh. I think it was Winnie. Yeah, Topanga. She was hot back in the day. I'm not alone, Serge. Nice. Wow, what a surprise. You'd think he would be complimenting El Salvador due to their legalization and hodl. Not sure who you're referring to there, Data. Okay, good man like. Thank you, Kashif. Much appreciated, brother. We're streaming live on 3 platforms right now. We're on X, we're on Rumble, you're on YouTube. If you guys can repost the stream, it's appreciated. Shout out Data, appreciate it. Shout out Guido, good to be home. Welcome home, brother. Shout out the one and only Chandy 10 Music. Want Bitcoin news from the best? You got to tune into the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And shout out Charlene. She said she got liked by Elon Musk. I know I've never gotten liked by Elon. Now I'm low-key jealous. Just playing. Congratulations. That's fantastic. Love to see the fam winning at the end of the day. Winnie Cooper. That's the one. Winnie Cooper. That's the one. Winnie looks awesome today. Oh, wow. You know how it is sometimes? You have a crush on someone like 30 years ago, and then they don't look... Sometimes they don't look good no more, especially all grown up, but some people maintain their hotness. I'll give you an example. Salma Hayek. She still looks fantastic. From, I think I remember the movie, was it From Dusk Till Dawn? Little vampire movie back in the day. She was very sexy in that movie, by the way. Watching from Long Island, Islip. My old stomping grounds family. I got family in Islip. Shout out, it's Remy No Limit. Max is very intolerant to even the slightest difference in policies. For instance, this is the people who invest in any altcoin. Yeah, because his belief is that the altcoins are going to damage people as they do. So Max does have his point there. Most people get wrecked in altcoins. Not to say you can't succeed. That doesn't mean everyone gets wrecked, but it's safe to say the majority of the people who gamble and walk into a casino are losers. You know, I wish they weren't, but it's just the nature of the game. Jessica Alba and Dark Angel, back in the day. Whoa, how's she looking nowadays? I have no idea. I haven't seen her forever. Rachel Welch is hot her whole life. Yeah, they're a rare breed. They're a rare breed. F me, yep. Winnie. Sandra Bullock for me, please. Proper, still a babe. ETH must be the second best. Well, let's see what Michael Saylor has to say.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best.
I'm not saying I'm number one. I'm sorry, I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
There you have it. Thank you. Pull up a chair. JV is on the air. Shout out Adam Taylor. Again, anyone who reposts with a comment or a quote will get reposted and shouted out. Now let's go. That's right, Charlene. I could be the caddy for the golf cart and get the goodies. Amen. As long as I'm invited to the parties. That's all that matters. Life and living in the flesh. Thank you, Mr. Grip. Just reposted your brother. Shout out Pamela. I'm just reposting everyone right now before we get rolling. Welcome, welcome. We got a lot to share. Losing is addictive. I see it every day here in Vegas. Yeah, nowadays you can just connect your bank account directly to the slot machine and spend every dime you have in your bank account. They made it that easy. It's sad. 90210. Oh, I remember that one. Beverly Hills 90210. That was a popular one. I don't know. And Saved by the Bell. Remember like Screech and them? Mr. Belding? Was that the name? If it was a quiz bowl, I'd have just been pissed. Not Whitney. It's Winnie. I had a crush on Fred Savage. No way. I put high on my imaginary basketball team as the only child on 5 acres. That's awesome. Linda Evans. JV. Erico, where you been, brother? Alyssa Milano. Whoa. That was the show with, what's his name? Tony Danza. I don't even remember the name. Was that Growing Pains or was that a different one? Bringing back a lot of childhood memories, fam. Susanna Hoffa. I remember Pamela Anderson on Baywatch back in the day, too. I played WSOP in Atlantic City, made it to the 81st place before I stopped. I'm not familiar with that game. What up, JV? Not everyone who gets older still looks the same. I wish. I know, Tip Tyler. If you're enjoying the stream, just wait for the uncensored version of the pod. It's going to be extra lit today, I promise. Who's the Boss? Oh, that's the one. That was a good show. Who's the Boss was a good one. And yes, agreed. To do with the endorphins. Right on, Judson. Exactly. They know how to keep it addicting. That's what they do. They want to keep you on those machines as long as possible. It makes sense. Happy 420. Happy 420. And but here's what we're going to do. Let's continue. Let's dive into today's technical analysis, And we'll also pull up some of the live charts. Welcome, everyone just joining the stream. And salute. Let's get it. So Bitcoin needs a daily close above 63 G's, baby, right where we're at to open up the road to new all-time highs. Send it. The current all-time high, FYI, is 73.8. We achieve mid-March. We're only a God candle away. Can you feel it? Broskies. Bitcoin continues to rebound after the week's macroeconomic events delivered a boost to risk assets, up nearly 8% over the week. Now, Bitcoin's facing a crucial area of resistance, which has kept the market pinned for months. Quoting analysts here, massive level coming up here at 63,000 after a very strong reaction off the demand in the 57,000 area. If we can clear 63 G's and hold above it on a high time frame closing basis, then considering a high time frame context, we could make a real push towards all-time highs. Send it. The mid-60 G zone is significant because it hosts various trend lines required to function as support. These include the aggregate cost basis for Bitcoin short-term investor cohorts, a level that traditionally accompanies every bull market. And continuing, Family Office MS2 Capital added that the 200-day simple moving average now coincides with the largest on-chain volume area at 64 Gs. And amongst charts uploaded to X include a comprehensive breakdown of various high time frame resistance levels. Meanwhile, popular trader and analyst Red Capital shows that Bitcoin is already making headway within its multi-month downwards channel. Quoting him here, Bitcoin is breaking the lower high downtrend dating to the late July as we speak. The channel itself means that 67,000 is now a key breakout level, so mark that on your charts, family. 67 Gs, let's go. Time for the breakout. Meanwhile, he calls for a reaccumulation range since the block subsidy halving, which occurred April 19th. Quoting him again, Bitcoin has historically broken out from its reaccumulation range 150 to 160 days after the halving. It's currently 158 days after the halving. It's time. That's what it means. Fourth quarter incoming. We're only 10 days out. You already know things are about to get bullish as a mofo. Before I pull up the charts and other breaking news, shout out Jan 3 Samson Mao. He just met with Mr. Junichi Kanda, the parliamentary vice minister of the cabinet office, discussing the potential of Bitcoin in Japan. Nation state adoption, Dragon Ball Z style. Let's go. That's pretty major. I love what he is doing. Shout out Samson Mao. Hopefully Japan adopts the biddy. In other breaking news, Senator Cynthia Lummis's general counsel says the SEC gave BNY Mellon a variance approval to move forward with Bitcoin custody. That's right. Game theory in full effect. And quoting Max Keiser, the IMF, while trying to steer countries away from Bitcoin, is secretly buying it. An internal memo notes the impending crash of the US dollar and the inevitable bankruptcy of the IMF. I'm not going to read this because the second part, because I try to keep the stream family friendly, but you can sure read it. And shout out Max, I love him. Also, quoting Plan B, creator of the Bitcoin stock blue model, the yellow periods are boring. Bitcoin does not move. It's all about the short periods in between 2013, 2017, and 2020, always the year preceding the halving. Those are the fundamental price moves. Don't miss the next move. Amen. And in other breaking news, again, there is a big golf tournament occurring in El Encanto Country Club in El Salvador, January 10th and the 11th, and JV is going to be there, and hope to see you guys there as well if you're going to be joining us. Shout out Max and Stacy. And also, here's some of the live charts. I mean, they're lit as a mofo. Look at this. Let me switch the scene up to make it cleaner for you guys. You should be able to see we do have a rising wedge very clearly. Look how bullish we have been, I mean, over the past few days. We do have a bottom target you need to be aware of, sitting at 59,000. And like I said, we do have a rising wedge formation. Let's zoom out to the 4-hour. Charts are looking pretty lit right now. 4-hour chart, we do have a blue target, which is sitting at 81,000, which would take us to price discovery, new all-time high. And we do have a bottom target to be aware of all the way down at $36,000. Let's check out the daily chart, and then we'll check out the weekly and the monthly. The one-day chart says, dun, dun, dun. We do have a bottom target. Sitting at 47, but you can see 1, 2, 3 bullish green daily closes, and it looks like a little itty bitty red, but the day is still young. And let's zoom out to the weekly. We should still have that sexy cup and handle pattern at roughly 125. Today it says 124.6. So I believe this is in play for the fourth quarter. I'm very bullish Q4 because historically it's extremely bullish time of the year, especially post-halving. I think historically roughly 80% gains around that ballpark collectively for the 3 months of the fourth quarter. And zooming out on the monthly, let's check it out. Survey says, it's been very sideways. Let's see if we can finally get a green candle close for the month of September, which is rare. But like I said, fourth quarter, October, November, December, I'm anticipating 3 big bullish monthly candle closes, Godzilla style. You already know. But let me know your thoughts, family. And also, again, there's a live poll in the chat on the YouTube. Let me know when what do you think the Bitcoin price peak will be for this particular year of 2024? Holler at your boy. Data says, I think based on research and I am doing now, Saylor said that it is not the time for people to be buying food or retail, but Bitcoin is a store of value right now. More than a currency, I have to agree. It might change in the future. Tell us how it is when it finally is ready. Subscribe to #1 Daily Pod. And don't forget, we also have a clips channel for short content and shorts and clips, which could be found at clips.cryptonewsalerts.net. That's an official channel. Yes, we got that right. Also, he recommends El Salvador finds a way to make positive cash flow, now just held wealth, and recommends something like what he is doing. The mining is all those for the lines. They are doing something, but it's okay for Trump to buy a bunch of NY burgers. Now, here's the thing. If you're all in on Bitcoin and you're like all in and you have no fiat, some people just need to spend it because they're living off of it. Just keep it 100. We have all different types of hodlers. Some people believe in Bitcoin so much that they're all in. Like everything they have is in Bitcoin. And on some occasions, you can't hodl because you got to pay a bill or you got to buy a hamburger like frickin' Donald Trump. So there you go. It depends upon the person. We all walk in different shoes. You know what I mean? I've been all in on Bitcoin since 2017. Like, no joke. So sometimes I want to just hodl, but sometimes I have to make a purchase. I'm a human being. So I think you guys can relate. But the overall objective is to hodl. We know those who hodl Bitcoin win every time. Like, if you can hodl 1 or 2 cycles, you're guaranteed to be in the green. Well, at least that's what history shows us. Every single hodler of 4 years or longer is in the green. So if you can hodl for 4 years or longer, you'll be in the green. I was doing the math the other day. I bought my first Bitcoin at $1,500 in 2017. From 60,000-ish or wherever we were, it's like 42x gains. So for my first initial Bitcoin purchase, I'm up 42x. So I cannot complain. Some people who got in a cycle before me are up hundreds of X's. Some of y'all are up thousands of X's or tens of thousands of X's or millions of X's if your name is Max Keiser. So it's pretty wild. Bitcoin's going to continue to do its thing. Mark my words. I believe it will 6x by the end of the year. By the cycle peak, it'll 8 to 10x, possibly more. The technicals are lining up to see the massive gains. The A-team. Yeah, I remember Mr. T. I think he passed. People that have been on the fence hearing about Trump buying a burger are starting their journey. Ain't it hilarious? It took that Donald Trump to buy a hamburger to get you in the game. Meanwhile, I've been preaching the holy gospel of Satoshi every single day, 7 days a week for the past 6 years. All it took was Trump to buy a hamburger. Crazy clown world we're living in. My end of the year target sits, by the way, at 1.1 fib from the 22 low through the recent all-time high. 88 to 106,000 after that, mid-2025. Could hit the well over. Hodl. Hodl if you hear me. Oh, I remember that track, Strictly for My What? That's Tupac's album. Holla if you hear me. Not to be a troll, but I have heard from eyewitness that the average El Salvador citizen has not benefited that much from the Bitcoin adoption. Well, I'm going there firsthand to speak to the people. I'll report back to you, Diana. My boat has a leak. Hashtag yikes. Normies are off the radar. Yeah, you gotta love the normies. Cheers. 60 G's, 60 G's.
Buying
Opportunity for fifth level sexy G's. What do you think, JV? And shout out Chandy, first and foremost, for making that song. And shout out her for making the theme song. And shout out for her making all the incredible music. And thank you for reposting Steven's posts. I just reposted your repost of the repost. And thank you for reposting Guido's post. Chandy, you're amazing. Thank you, Diana Jones. I just reposted you on the X. She wrote the best online crypto news. I'm very honored. Thank you. You guys are too amazing. And thank you again, Adam Taylor. Just reposted you. Shout out Charlene, Mr. Grip, Pamela. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are amazing. I'm for the Bitty. I'm for the Nippinator. I'm for Nipsey. Mr. T is still alive. Well, my apologies. Long live the king. I'm a fan. Hopefully he lives another 72 years. I self-identify as a diamond nut for the past 5 years. Some of the people I've been trying to orange pill are now interested because of Trump buying the burger. That is freaking ironic. Yeah, my mom told me not to be a little fool and don't buy Bitcoin. Then she said, buy silver. That was months ago. The burger day, she sent a text saying he was live somewhere doing something with burgers. I know, even my mom. But my mom's been a Bitcoiner for a long time, so respect to the JV's mom. She knows what's good. The Duke's a hazard. Yeah, yo. Number go up. Thank you, JV. Shouting out back at you. Did Chandy get her Bitcoin back? Actually, feel free to update us, Chandy. Let us know, I guess, regarding the Kraken loss and the Cash App loss. Let us know. But if it is true that most don't use it daily, then why would you? DCA and HODL, they use American dollars in El Salvador and buy Bitcoin for the savings. That's what you should do. You treat Bitcoin as a savings. Precisely. I live 30 minutes from Pamela Anderson. Big ups, JB. Shout out the proof. Let's go. But anyways, next story of the day, we got a lot to cover. Let's discuss the Kingdom of Bhutan and their 750 million Bitcoin position. As the headline reads, Bhutan 750 million revenue from oh yeah, that's from Bitcoin mining. So the difference between the United States and Bhutan mined Bitcoin and they got 750 million. United States just confiscates it. That's how they get their Bitcoin holdings. It's crazy. But yeah, the East Himalayan Kingdom of Bhutan in Asia is showcasing a powerful example of how developing nations could leverage the Bitcoin mining to improve their economies and achieve economic growth. September 16th, on-chain analytics platform ArcHam claimed it detected and identified the first Bitcoin address of Bhutan's investment arm, Druk Holdings and Investments. And according to ArcHam, DHI holds 13,029 Bitty, 656 Ether. Notice they only have 1.5 million in Ether, and they got $750 million in Bitcoin. That speaks volumes, doesn't it, family? They have approximately 780 million in total crypto holdings. Shout out Bhutan. Anyone here from Bhutan? Let me know. This means Bhutan's crypto reserves account for over 27% of its 3 billion 2023 national gross domestic product, according to World Data Bank. Nations worldwide are grappling like, what's his name? Habib Nurmagomedov, like that, with overwhelming debt levels, facing economic strain as borrowing costs rise and fiscal challenges grow. The mounting debt crisis is sparking debates over long-term sustainability of current economic models, especially in the poorer countries relying on external loans. Meanwhile, Mikey Saylor, founder and chairman of MicroStrategy, explained during the Bitcoin 2024 conference in Nashville, Tennessee, how nations, especially those with significant debt, could use Bitcoin to solve their economic problems. He proposed a MicroStrategy, where indebted countries could allocate or relocate their treasury reserves from assets like gold and bonds into the Bitty, a long-term digital asset. And by doing so, these countries could leverage Bitcoin's growth potential to pay off debt and possibly achieve economic prosperity. Amen. The World Bank classifies Bhutan, a small Asian nation with limited economic capacity, as a developing country. Countries in this category typically have a gross national income per capita below 14,000. Most countries worldwide are in this category, and many could follow Bhutan's example to address their national debt. Some potential candidates include Paraguay, Venezuela, El Salvador, Argentina, and Kenya. Paraguay has taken steps towards regulating Bitcoin mining in 2024, mainly due to the abundant hydroelectric electricity resources. The country's low electricity costs and favorable climate have made it an attractive destination for crypto miners. Now, we have some guy named Crypto Boy, co-founder of Bitcoin Paraguay, who shared, Paraguay has a unique position in the world because 99% of its energy is hydroelectric. Let's go. Now, Moringo also explained Paraguay's low energy demand cannot absorb all the energy produced by the hydroelectric dams. So the surplus energy eventually ends up being exported to Argentina and Brazil at rock bottom prices. Quoting them here, it is not far-fetched to think that the Paraguayan government could stop selling the surplus and use it to mine Bitcoin, just like Bhutan did. Let's go. And even though Paraguay is the largest power exporter in South America, amongst the 10 largest worldwide, politics and regulation have prevented the country from using its surplus energy in crypto mining. He also pointed out the same political party has ruled Paraguay for over 70 years. He believes the ruling bureaucrats, am I pronouncing that right? Bureaucrats fail to fully understand Paraguay's vast energy potential to build a profitable Bitcoin mining infrastructure. And in 2022, Paraguay's legislator approved the bill to regulate crypto mining to establish clear legal framework for the industry. So as you know, there is adoption. Also in Venezuela, let's discuss it. Energy giant stunted with crypto adoption. Venezuela faced several economic crises, including hyperinflation for the nation and shortages of essential goods in the hood. And many citizens have turned to crypto to protect their earnings from inflation. I mean, look at this rate of inflation. That's just from August 2023 to August 2024 within 1 year. Insane. The country is rich in oil and natural gas, providing a cheap and abundant energy source for electric generation, an important factor for Bitcoin mining's proliferation. Quoting the CEO of crypto asset custody firm Bitcoin Techno, Venezuela shouldn't only try to emulate Bhutan's model, but to surpass it. Let me know if you think it will. And again, El Salvador could also be tapped in on so many levels for stacking the biddies. As we know, they're the first nation to adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender. They currently hold almost 6,000 Bitcoin, and which it purchased using treasury funds. The country is also now mining Bitcoin using natural geothermal energy from volcanic activity, but this comprises only a tiny part of its Bitcoin stash. And I think they're going to continue to scale. We also have Argentina and many other countries that have a lot of potential. And I think just across South America, Central America, and the Americas in general, there's a lot of volcanic activity. Also, we have Kenya. We have African countries as well. The new frontier for Bitcoin adoption. So, I mean, we're just getting started. We call this game theory, and I think it is playing out in real time right now. Which nation, state, what do you think will be likely next to adopt the Biddy? Holla at your boy. And welcome everyone to joining the stream. JV is caffeinated free, but I'm fully rested. I took a 2-hour nap right before I started the stream, so I'm feeling like $1 million today. I have some big names in the weed industry who I'm talking to, and they want my seeds. Big moves coming next year. Congrats, brother. Bitcoin is autonomous, decentralized, limited, unhackable, globally available, immune to inflation and recession, and care less about the governments. Amen. Amen to that. Take a sip, bro. I know. That's why we play the music, so I can actually take a sip.
I'm for the big T. I'm for the Nippinator. I'm for Nipsey, not for the weirdo Kit Kat Kitty.
And hallelujah, our YouTube stream has over 200 live people on. I'm not used to that. Since being terminated and getting the channel back, it's almost been impossible. So something's working. Thank you guys. I appreciate all the support. We got 715 people on the stream, 200 plus just on YouTube. So keep those numbers climbing. Much appreciated.
Cat, kitty cat, I'm for stacking the sats.
Stack them
sats. Ain't no thing, baby.
It's a chance to stack those sats, a chance to stack those bitties.
It's a chance to stack those sats, chance to stack those bitties. Baby.
Cospa King, I just reposted your brother.
You never heard about me with another coin. Bitcoin.
I got my mind on my Bitcoin and my Bitcoin on my mind. 60 G's, 60 G's, a buying opportunity. The doing doing. There is no second best. There's a crypto asset called Bitcoin, right?
There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? The point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura.
You hear that, Laura? That's right. Here are the rules. Thank you, Oracle, for the reminder. Don't spam the chat. Don't disrespect the chat. The mods are JV. Don't dox anyone in the chat. And don't start stuff in the chat. Pretty simple. It means just be respectful to one another. If you can be respectful, you're golden. Big ups, JV. Shout out to The Good Shepherd. I remember that film. There was a Macaulay Culkin film after Home Alone. It was called The Good Shepherd. I just remember he dropped the F-bomb in it. And I was like 6 years old. I'm like, oh my God, that is so cool. He just dropped the F-bomb. Poor Macaulay Culkin. Mr. T is still with us. Thank you for the reminder, Serge. Glad to hear that. Time for our bong rip, says DNA. Enjoy that. Happy 420, family. And welcome everyone just joining the stream. Let's continue with the news. We do got a lot to share. Let's discuss MicroStrategy, eh? MicroStrategy raises over $1 billion for Bitcoin acquisitions. And on top of that, they announced today buying another 7,420 Bitcoin for $458 million. That's the Giga Chad for you. Stacking sats till eternity. MicroStrategy completed approximately $1 billion offering at only a 0.6% convertible senior note due in 2028. How can I get this offer? I want to borrow $1 billion at 0.6%. And then I don't have to pay it back till 2028 when Bitcoin's like $1 million. Sign me up times 10, please. With plans to use a portion of the proceeds for the Bitcoin acquisition, the private offering, which concluded September 19th, target institutional investors enabled the conversion into cash or MicroStrategy stock. The company also plans to use a part of the funds to redeem a $500 million in senior secured notes, releasing collateral, including 69,000 biddies. What a divine omen. I love that number. And on September 20th, according to the latest Form 8K submitted by the MicroStrategy to the US SEC between the 13th and the 19th of September, he wrote, MicroStrategy acquired approximately 7,420 biddies for approximately $458 million in cash using proceeds from the offering at an average price approximately $61,750 per biddy, inclusive of fees and expenses. Let's break down the details, eh? The convertible senior notes are unsecured and carry a 0.6% annual interest rate, payable semi-annually, March 15th and September 15th. And according to the official MicroStrategy press release, the notes will mature in 2027 unless they're converted, redeemed, or repurchased earlier. The publicly traded software firm has set the initial conversion rate at 5.4 shares of Class A common stock per thousand principal amount of the notes. The conversion translates to roughly $183 per share, reflecting a 40% premium over the stock price as of September 17th, and the crowd is going wild. Now for the use of the proceeds. MicroStrategy plans to use and raise approximately $997 million, let's just call it $1 billion, can we, of net proceeds after fees and expenses to fund its aggressive Bitcoin acquisition. You can say that again, aggressive. The remaining funds will be used for general corporate purposes, but will primarily focus on increasing the firm's Bitcoin holdings. Part of the net proceeds will go towards $500 million senior secured notes, which are scheduled for redemption September 26th. They now hold $14.14 billion worth of the Bitcoin. Good Lord. The firm's SEC filing stated the purchase was made at an average price of $60,400. Continued to buy the dip. MicroStrategy CEO Saylor, or I should say co-founder, he's no longer the CEO, announced on X the firm also achieved a Bitcoin yield of 4.4% quarter to date and 17% year to the date and held 244,800 BTC as of September 12th. And what's crazy is BlackRock already holds more than MicroStrategy, and MicroStrategy was the first publicly traded company to put the biddy on the balance sheet, and that was all the way back in 2020. Keeping in mind, BlackRock now has $21 billion worth of volume since January 11th. It's pretty mind-boggling. It's crazy. It'd be something to meet the Keisers, or I don't know. Are they married or just living together? They're married. It's not a secret. They just, I think, maintain their original names, my understanding. So it's Stacy Herbert and Max Keiser, but they have been married for a very long time. Lovebirds. That's my favorite power couple in Bitcoin, hands down. They got started in Bitcoin back in 2010. They started covering it via the Keiser report in 2011. So you already know. You know what I mean? Those are true OGs. Going to doing forever, Laura. Precisely, facts. We're going to doing forever. My friend worried so much about buying Bitcoin at 42 earlier in the year. Now he wishes he had bought more. What a lesson. Amen. Saylor was given constructive criticism. Max disagrees. They should be civil. They are civil. Don't get it twisted. They're friends. It's just, I think when someone disses Bukele or El Salvador by putting them down, and it's illogical, Max is going to stand up for his homie, obviously, because Max thinks he's spreading FUD. And I agree. I don't think they have to sell or convert the Bitcoin for a gain. You can just hold on to the Bitcoin and gain more. That's like saying hodling is not an effective strategy. Okay. So I can see both of their points, and it is what it is. Not financial advice. If you're a Bitcoin fan, you may want to consider a small bag of MSTR, Marathon Digital, etc. The different miners. Why? They're Bitcoin derivatives. If Bitcoin 2x's, says Greg, everyone buys at the price they deserve. Amen. Hola. No notification again from the tube. Most recently on X. Well, I'm glad you got it on X. We are streaming on X, Rumble, and YouTube, and we do have 228 people on YouTube. Wow. And for those, we got 800 people on the stream. If you'd like to join us on the tube, it's basically cryptonewsalerts.net is the direct link. I invite you to join us before we dive into our next story of the day, and it's the controversy surrounding Max Keiser and Michael Saylor. As Max made the headlines, we'll be discussing it. Saylor doesn't put people down. He offers opinions on strategy. Well, it seems he put Nayib Bukele down, brother. Maybe more indirectly, but you can perceive it how you like. HODL is my only strategy and option. I'm good with it. Nice. HODL be thy name, family. HODL be thy name.
Pump, 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 pump it up. Pump, 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 pump it up.
And we do it like. So shout out everyone in the stream. I'm going to check the X feed again. You're going to notice the stream pinned at the very top of my profile. If you're one of the 240 people on YouTube right now, I encourage you to visit me on X. My X handle is Crypto News Yes. And you'll find it, or you can just type in Crypto News Alerts. You'll find it either way. And just all you got to do is heart it and repost it, just as I did. And if you can do that with a comment or a quote on the stream, I'll repost you. I'll follow you back. I'll shout you out. And we're now family. You know what I mean? Let's make it happen. I appreciate it in advance. Thank you, Expix, Tony, and anyone else. I'm going to be checking the feed throughout the stream. We still got a lot to share, so let's continue with the latest saga between Max Keiser and the Giga Chad, Mikey Saylor. Here we go. Yeah, I'm actually one of their kids. Shh. Don't tell anybody, Serge, please. That's between us. But yeah, here's the latest. Headline reads, Max Keiser attacks Michael Saylor for finding fault with El Salvador's Bitcoin strategy and says you owe Nayib Bukele an apology. Let's break it down. Here we go. Staunch Bitcoin advocate Max Keiser slammed MicroStrategy Inc. MSTR co-founder Saylor for casting aspirations on the Bitcoin strategy adopted by Nayib Bukele's led Salvadoran administration. What happened? Keiser took to X on Thursday to respond to Saylor's broader argument. And this all started on the Bitcoin podcast with Saifedean Ammous, the Bitcoin Standard podcast. I don't know if you saw it, but it was basically Michael Saylor was on, and they had a little bit of a little controversy. And I reposted that the other day. We discussed it, but here's the latest with the saga. During the interaction with Saifedean Ammous, the author of the famous book, The Bitcoin Standard, how many of you read that book? Let me know. It was the first Bitcoin book I read. Saylor asserted El Salvador would eventually have to liquidate their Bitcoin stash to pay their expenses if they don't get any yield on it. Now, I put the question to you. What's the point of El Salvador or your family accumulating all your capital in Bitcoin if you expect zero yield forever and you are never going to borrow against it? The Bitcoin billionaire added. Now, Keiser, who serves as the senior Bitcoin advisor to El Salvador's President Bukele, did not take these observations well. Quoting him here, Michael Saylor is unequivocally wrong while slandering El Salvador. El Salvador is reducing debt and growing the GDP without exposing El Salvador to the counterparty risks that Saylor is exposing his shareholders to. Now, I know exactly what he's talking about because I once borrowed against my Bitcoin and I had extreme counterparty risks, and things actually worked the opposite of what I intended to do. And it wasn't good. So there's absolutely risk involved with selling or borrowing against your Bitcoin versus hodling, and you need to be aware of that. I know from firsthand experience. But anyways, let's continue. Why it matters. Keiser's fiery response was noteworthy given his endorsement of Saylor's Bitcoin strategy in the past. In January, Keiser credited Saylor for taking Bitcoin out of the shitcoin gutter and setting the stage for the Bitcoin ETF approvals, which is true. Here's the receipt for that. January 11th, that was the day the ETFs went live here in the States. Shout out to Saylor, who took Bitcoin out of the shitcoin gutter and set the stage for today's ETF approval. Then just last month, he heaped praise the MicroStrategy stock, underscoring its limitless growth potential, as he shares here. There are still people who are financiers for decades who still don't understand what MicroStrategy is doing and that the stock literally has no top. Now, El Salvador has doubled down on Bitcoin ever since adopting the world's largest digital currency as legal tender in 2021. The country adopted a plan to buy 1 Bitcoin per day until it becomes unaffordable with fiat currency. And at this time, they currently hold 5,878 Bitcoin. Now for some more recent posts from Max. So Willy Woo wrote, Grok, I don't know if it's Grok or Grok, but the AI here on X is correct. El Salvador doesn't need to sell their Bitcoins in order to get benefit from its stack. And then Max Keiser responded, Saylor's comments, El Salvador needing to sell Bitcoin are written by someone other than Saylor. You are not free if you have to voice US and IMF propaganda talking points, Michael. To be a true Bitcoiner, you need to get the hell out of the swamp and move to El Salvador. And let's dive deeper into the Willy Woo Grok thing. Does El Salvador need to sell Bitcoin in order to get a benefit? Here's what Grok wrote, the AI. Based on the info available up till September 2024, El Salvador does not necessarily need to sell its Bitcoin to benefit from its gains. Here are several of the ways El Salvador can or has benefited from the Bitcoin investment without necessarily selling. Number 1, unrealized profits. Number 2, economic stability and publicity. Number 3, investment financial products. Number 5, citizen by investment. Number 6, mining and other revenue. And number 7, strengthening of economic position. So there you have it, yo. Let me know if you guys actually caught the pod with Cypher and Mikey Saylor, and what are your thoughts? Chime in. Let me know. Holla at your boy. I'll read your comments out loud. Welcome everyone to join the stream. Let's motherfucking go. Watching for Cornwall, England. Shout out Fairground. What it do, broski? Basically, I put money in at the beginning of the month and pay my bills when they come due. You got to do what it do. Max is overboard sometimes. We can like him and still admit that. Right on, Data. We're all entitled to our own opinions. I like the toxic maximalism, as he coined it. Bitcoin toxic maximalism. All of those. That entire list is what Saylor is talking about. Says Data. The USA would be well served to follow Bukele's lead. Print fiat to buy the biddy. It is so simple, but it will be soon too late. Data says Max is wrong. Collateral needs to be used. And Saylor wasn't dissing anybody. I guess that's up for your interpretation. I like it too. We need it, but he is not perfect. Is Bitcoin going to the moon October? I think so. What are your thoughts? I think the entire fourth quarter is going to be lit like a Godzilla candle. If you feel what I'm saying, let me know if you agree, yo.
We've been climbing, aim for $1 million climaxing.
Let's go. And I see we got 900 people on the stream, 230 people on YouTube. And shout out to the Rumble fan. We are streaming on all 3 platforms right now, X, Rumble, and YouTube. I appreciate y'all's support. Got to do what you got to do, Data. Thank you, family. It has conversion in the app. You also get a card if you want one. Moonstone, you convert the US dollar to use the card. When pump watch party? Man, that's a good question. Whenever I feel like it, I guess. We can do a pump watch anytime. And let's not forget 100K Fiesta when we smash the coveted 6-figure mark. Pump party tonight. If we have a big pump, I'm not going to do a pump party if we're like sitting in the red. I think once we get back above 64, we should do one. We'll have a 70,000 pump watch. Saylor's been the best to articulate what Bitcoin is. Yeah, don't get it twisted. I'm a huge Saylor fan. There's a reason I play him every single day.
Take all your time, figure out how to borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin. Then take all your time.
I personally like the controversy. I think it's a good controversy to discuss. And that's why we're discussing it here. Linwood, let's go. Hit the like. Thank you, Robbie. Did you find the blood orange tangerine spindrift? I didn't. This one they had at the Costco, the pink lemonade. It's a newer flavor. It's pretty good. I like all the flavors, but I'm a simple man. I like the lime and lemon. Still my favorite. I haven't saw that, the one you just mentioned yet. You know what I mean? But we're actually, speaking of health, we'll talk about some health later because I actually got some updates regarding some health things. I've been seeing a lot of 220,000 predictions lately. What do you think? 100%. I think 220 is a great target. I think we'll hit it next year. I know our one and only Oracle believes it'll happen fourth quarter. I think her target's 225. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jen. I think it's 220 or 225. I'm a fan too. Good. Max just wants you to hodl Bitcoin till it's 100 million and then buy the kids a Game Boy. I like it. I like it. Lemon is my fave. Nice. I think it is owned by Visa. It's for the Bitcoin, similar to the Cash App. Where's Nipsey at? He's behind me. He's just not in the bed. He's on the carpet. So you're probably like, yo, where's the Nipinator? He's directly behind me. We're in alignment. You feel me? We're directly aligned. I ordered it through Amazon. Oh, the new Spindrift? 222. I dig it. Great target. Been drinking kombucha for the health, though not for the flavor. It has a lot of the, what is it called? For the digestion, the billions of probiotics. That's the benefit of the kombucha. The downside is still very acidic. Like, for example, it can rot your teeth. So make sure you brush your teeth after drinking that because it still has high level of acidicness and sugar. That's the downside. Where the Spindrift, there's zero sugar. All the Spindrift is carbonated water and then like lemon juice and hibiscus. Or, you know what I mean? So I like the Spindrift personally. I think it's better than the kombucha, but the downside, it's in the poison aluminum can. So it's like you can't win. It's like, if they sold this in a glass bottle, I'd be all over it. Black cherry is good too. Good to note. You still like Trump? No comment. I don't think any politician is our savior. I don't think any politician is going to change anything because there's levels above the politician that they have no control over. So, in my opinion, I have no savior except Jesus Christ and God and Bitcoin, which I believe is God hacking humanity and giving us a second chance. You know what I mean? So that's just me. I don't put any human being on a pedestal, personally. That is why we tune in to the Nipinator. He's looking at me like, what? They talking about me again? But anyways, family, let's continue with the news. We did the latest with Saylor and Keiser. Now let's discuss the parabolic run-up, according to this analyst, and then we'll discuss the latest from BlackRock, as well as some bullishness, 600,000 prediction, and then we'll dive into some live Q&A. Welcome everyone just joining the live stream. The headline here reads, Bitcoin on the cusp of a breakout into parabolic phase. Here's the timeline. That's right. We have an analyst known as Rec Capital. He shared with his 88,000 subs that Bitcoin's on the cusp of a breakout into the parabolic phase after spending the past few months in a reaccumulation phase. According to Rec, Bitcoin's parabolic phase lasts a predictable amount of time in every cycle, quoting him here. So if we just see that 160 days after the halving is how long this reaccumulation phase lasts, and we tend to see the bull market peak 550 days after the halving, then this parabolic phase should last 390 days. Let's go! Or even 400 days, even sexier. So it is roughly a year of parabolic upside that we see going into the bull market peak. And if that continues, indeed, mid-September of next year, 1 year from now, mid-October 2025, is when we could see the bull market peak occur for the Bitcoin. Let me know if you agree. I do agree it will happen sometime in 2025. It could happen in the third or fourth quarter, but it could also even happen earlier. It could happen in the first or second quarter. I don't know, but I am confident it'll happen in 2025 just because of the previous cycles and what history has shown us. The analyst says that based on historical precedent, Bitcoin could hit the new all-time high over the coming days. And I agree. We typically have a 10-day run-up, and we can easily smash a God candle of 10,000 in 10 days. Easy peasy. We could do it in 1 day. We've done it before. But we will reverse towards the upside at some point. And that point is coming quite soon because 160 days after the halving is when we see the breakout to new highs. And we're currently 151 days in. So can you say bullish leading into October? Let me know your thoughts, fam. Holla at your boy. Huge respect, JV. Right back at you, Judson. 750. Sounds good to me, Vince. Let's get it. Hell yeah. 750 would be great. I agree. Bitcoin is providential. Am I pronouncing that word right? 225 to 750 November of 2025. The poisonous aluminum can is plastic lined, every cloud and all that. You can't win. Like yesterday, I was getting all new appliance appliances that I use that aren't real stainless steel, even the appliances that are sold as stainless steel, they have aluminum bottoms. Almost all of them. It took me like 3 hours on Amazon to find a set of pots and pans that don't have the aluminum base. They're all advertised 100% stainless steel, and they are, but there's like even the expensive brands that are like hundreds of dollars per pot, and it's like from Italy, chef, the top Gordon Ramsay recommended shit, aluminum base, because it's 5 layers of stainless steel, and the mid layer is always aluminum on almost every single set I can find. And I finally found, I had to search Google, do they sell non-aluminum based stainless steel pots? And I finally found a seller that's pure stainless steel without the aluminum base. So you got to stay away from the Teflon, the non-stick surfaces, all poison. Everything is poison. Same thing with the electric tea kettles that are stainless steel. Why do they got to put a plastic spout? The water is the last thing the water touches is the freaking spout. Is there a conspiracy to harm us? Shh. I wouldn't know nothing about that. 225,000 end of the year, 500 to 750 cycle peak. Don't laugh too hard. What does that say? Butchers, no one really knows, says 8 Point. Right on. We'll talk more about health in the uncensored version of the pod when we continue with the where we left off with the Y-files, with the alien implants. It's actually getting very interesting. Blessings, Dorado Beach, Puerto Rico in the building. The aluminum doesn't touch the food, JB. I have stainless pot. I know, but I still don't trust it. I know it doesn't touch it because I researched it. It's in the middle layer, the aluminum base. And they advertise it as a feature, but I'm so suspect to aluminum because from my understanding, aluminum, when it gets heated, can seep through. I could be wrong, but I just don't trust it. So I had to get a 100% stainless steel, nothing to do with aluminum. I'm just sick of hearing aluminum and seeing aluminum, and everything in life is aluminum. And I'm sure we're all poisoned with aluminum. So all I can do is try to reduce my intake of aluminum at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I can't get off degree deodorant. Yeah, you got to get off the deodorant family. Aluminum is one of the key ingredients. And again, it's POISON, unfortunately. Heavy metals are no bueno. I know. We got to be health conscious family. We got to be around to be able to hodl for the long term. You know what I mean? But anyways, let's continue. Now for our feature story of the day, fam. BlackRock prepares for a 35 trillion Fed crisis. In fact, they even just released the Bitcoin white paper the other day. Extremely bullish. I'm going to be reading some of the highlights of this report for you. We'll also be discussing a $600,000 bullish Bitcoin price target, and then we'll dive into our live Q&A. Welcome everyone joining the stream. You can see the headline here. BlackRock prepares 35 trillion Fed crisis, predicting a Bitcoin price boom shakalaka. And as Eric Balchunas, ETF analyst, shared here, BlackRock just put out a 9-page white paper that makes the case for Bitcoin ETF as a unique diversifier that can hedge against the fiscal, monetary, and geopolitical risks. Also include a section called the Bitcoin Path to a 1 trillion market cap. Read the whole thing, and I mean, this is what it looks like. We can kind of go through it, but I'm going to be giving you some of the highlights. Also, check the show notes below the video in the description. I also link the resources of what I'm using on the show. Another headline from earlier in the year, BlackRock's global allocation fund iSpot Bitcoin ETFs expects institutional uptake to drive the Bitcoin price to 600 G's. Bippy. You feel me? So here we go. And employee of the month, I'm going to give it to Larry Fink and Michael Saylor. Thank you, guys. It feels good to front run the two of you, and thank you for doing a fantastic job. It was a historic week as the U.S. Fed cut interest rates for the first time since 2020. They cut it a 0.5 point, and that's obviously very bullish for risk on assets, ending its longest streak of rate hikes in a decade. While some say the move will improve the country's well-being, BlackRock revealed it anticipates a crisis for the U.S. debt spirals, and Bitcoin could be the safe haven. No, Bitcoin is thyself safe haven, BlackRock revealed in a recent paper to investors that the rising debt is creating growing concerns with investors. You got planning to do, Lucy. The paper, titled Bitcoin, a Unique Diversifier, and authored by Chief Investment Officer Samara Cohen and 2 of her colleagues, proposed the BITI as one of the most viable alternative investments. And this is quoting BlackRock's actual report. The growing concerns in the United States of America and abroad over the state of the U.S. federal deficits and debt has increased increase the appeal of potential alternative reserve assets as a potential hedge against possible future events affecting the US dollar. So with the entry of the likes of the BlackRock and Fidelity into the Bitcoin sector through their spot Bitcoin ETF, the top token, the one and only King Crypto, the undisputed champion of the world, has become more intertwined with traditional finance. This has resulted in questions on whether crypto is still a risk-off asset and a viable hedge against the other assets. It's all going to zero against the Bitcoin. BlackRock laid these concerns to rest, noting the following: Bitcoin's long-term correlation to equities and bonds have been low, and its long-term historical returns has been vastly higher than all the other major asset classes over extended time horizons. We believe Bitcoin's adoption drivers are likely to be distinct from, and in some cases inverted with, the global macro factors that drive most traditional financial assets. And now Bitcoin is a unique diversifier, hence the title of the report. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager with 10 trillion in assets under management, higher than the GDPs of all but 2 countries globally, and that's only the United States of America and China. That makes this the most authoritative voice in the financial world. Some would say the most powerful organization in the world. And the importance of its backing of Bitcoin can't be overstated. It hasn't always been this way. CEO Lawrence Fink, go get your shine box, has called Bitcoin an index of money laundering in the past before changing his mind and calling it the digital gold of this year. Kind of sounds similar to the old sentiment of Jamie Dimon.
Bitcoin, etc. You pointed out the only true use case for it is criminals,
Drug traffickers, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance. But I digress. Thank you, Jamie Dimon. Quoting them again. As the global investment community grapples rising geopolitical tensions concerning the state of the U.S. debts and deficits, the increased political instability around the world, Bitcoin may be seen increasingly unique, diversified asset against some of these fiscal, monetary, and geopolitical risk factors investors may face elsewhere in their portfolios. So there you go, yo. And you already know Bitcoin bounced back. And with a 1 trillion, what is it? Today it's at a 1.2 trillion market cap. We have massive potential. I believe BlackRock recommended a 84.9% Bitcoin allocation in one of their reports a couple of years back. I've covered this on the podcast numerous times, and you run the math. If asset managers were to go from 1% allocation to a whopping 84.9%, game on, like Donkey Kong. You feel me? Things are about to get lit. So you already know. Welcome, family, and anyone just joining the stream. This is the Q&A segment of the live pod. Let me know your thoughts. 35.5 trillion in national debt grows 1 trillion every 100 days. Damn, you cannot debase or ever repay that. There you go. Aluminum doesn't seep through. Fortunately, this is why I use cast iron or stainless with aluminum bottoms, JB. Thank you. I also have a huge cast iron one in my oven. It's 20 pounds. Good to note. Like I said, I was just very suspect because I see the word aluminum and I just don't trust aluminum, knowing what I know about aluminum. And guys, never use aluminum foil. That's poison. It heats up. It seeps into your food. Tis what it is. But yeah, I just found it interesting. It was almost impossible to find a stainless steel set without the aluminum base. And I just kept searching until I found one. And I finally found one. So that's what I roll with. So according to the poll, I'll notice no 100K party this year. Everyone says 99. No way. Damn you guys. Just playing. It's all good. No Diddy is a criminal. Oh, yeah, they put him on suicide watch. I meant stainless steel, JV. I used to be good at this, and then Grammarly made me lazy, but now Grammarly abandoned me for some reason. I didn't catch my it's all good in the hood, Chandy. Let's end the poll in the chat. I see we got over 900 people on the stream. We have a YouTube poll up of where you think the Bitcoin price peak will be for this particular year. We're going to go ahead and end it. I'll read the results out loud, and then we'll switch to the uncensored version of the podcast, and we'll do our react session to the Y files. We'll play some new music and all that good stuff. So here's the deal. 43% of you don't think we'll pass 99,000 this year. Damn it. No party then, fam. 32% of you say 100 to 149 Gs. 14% of you say 200,000 plus, and 9% of you say 150 to 199,000. That's out of 281 votes. So there you have it. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to continue with the uncensored extended version of the pod, exclusive on X and Rumble. So if you're on YouTube, head on over to the Rumble. Again, rumble.cryptonewsalerts.net. And let's get ready to rumble. Yeah, yo.